Hello guys, Apexbulletdemon here, and I realise I've been away for a very long time. Particular reasons for that, really just lost a sense of direction in what I wanted to generally record. Again, with the being away for so long, not really knowing what to record was a big factor in that. But yeah, I come back to War Z now. Got a lot to cover for you guys in this video about what's happened since March, the last time I really covered anything on War Z, technical detail wise. Obviously I have done videos since how to clear places, going guns blazing and things, but not many technical details involved there. But yeah, let's crack on with this. Now I'm just going to go probably to, if we just zoom this map in, Smallville. This is the closest place for me to go to, just there, and just take you through there and explain a lot of the big changes. Now I will say that I am now going to be trying to get up some more regular videos as well now. War Z, back on here, trying to get up some regular stuff on this. I've got a few ideas in the pipeline as well on other games that I'm going to run by myself mainly, see if I want to go through with those ideas. I don't actually know whether I told you guys about the new graphics card I'm running. I've now got a GTX 660 for the Win edition, 2GB, so that is a much better graphics card, much better quality, and videos stuck in a rock there. I don't know what was happening there. So yeah, the quality's definitely improved. The computer feels much better now. Gives me access to a lot more games, bigger variety in that. Big jump there, very strange. That's the one thing I do want to point out. War Z still very inconsistent on frame rate and performance. It still needs a lot of optimization there. I would want to say it's better than it was, but it still feels kind of the same there. But there's a lot of other stuff aside from that that's made the game a lot better, and a big feature I want to point out straight away is the fact that you can now unload a clip from a weapon, and you can also stack half empty clips together to form a full mag. Just show you bring up your inventory basically, and you can right click and there is an unload clip option. Once you've unloaded clips, obviously 2 stand mags, you can combine them together to create a full mag. The other thing to go with that is now when you find weapons, they have random amounts of ammo in them. If they've got a full mag, most of them generally tend to say brand new, like they've been untouched completely. But you're not going to find too many of those. A lot of the time you're going to find guns with random ammo in them, which makes the game a lot more challenging. Bullets are far more valuable, but in a sense they're not, because if you play the game enough and collect enough, then you can build up a supply of ammo. And I want to touch on the store. They've really cut down on the prices of things in the store. So in-game currency wise, or not in-game currency, the purchasable currency wise, you get a lot more for what you're buying, which is good. Things were overpriced before. Things like silencers were, just far too much for the risk of losing. It was just far too much. Now it's a lot better, and the only reason I'm not taking one out is simply just because I forgot to. Usually I would tend to roll with a silencer now, but that just shows how the game's developed. As you see in the chat there's a new system. It now tells you when a player has been banned, which I think is pretty cool. Bit of a shaming thing there. Not sure just how effective the anti-cheat system's been. I read different things, them saying they've banned such and such amount of people, and it's the game has improved player wise. There isn't a hacker in every single server like there was at one point. It was quite ridiculous at one point. now that you feel like you got a chance. Also for me, with the better quality of computer, better graphics card, better frame rate, always immediately a better chance of survival. So that's a big contributing factor as well. Another thing I want to cover, update wise, is the loot system. They've kind of done what I would say a U-turn, because at one stage I felt like there was loot in every building anyway, and they went away from that, and they've kind of come back to that now. They're encouraging you to check everywhere for things. You're going to find things everywhere now again, which is nice, not just selected places, and you go there repeatedly. Also, they've made a bigger variety in the items you find. Before you was very, very restricted on what you would find. Now you find a much wider variety of equipment. Now that's an interesting find. I've not actually found that before. Pistol flashlight. So that's a pretty interesting find. That just serves to show that the variety of things you can find has massively improved. There's only one other guy in here with us, as you can see, so we should get pretty lucky there. As well, visual wise, the game has taken steps, mainly lighting, a lot of lighting improvements, shadow improvements, etc., to make the game look better. They also do have a big overgrowth patch due this month, I know, so anytime now we're going to see massive change in the overgrowth, which is going to be nice to see. It'd be nice to see it not affect the frame rate drastically, but I can't see that happening. In previous patches, there's always been a big drop in frame rate to begin with before they've ironed it out a little bit, so you can probably expect that as an initial thing. Global inventory, something that personally for me used to bug me, is you couldn't stack guns if you have more than one, and you couldn't stack apparel stuff. Generally, the system just worked very poorly. They have fixed all of that now. The global inventory works really well. Just trying to get in the post office here. Personal lockers, they have been added to the game. You've got to know the code to get into those. But yeah, the global inventory has been drastically improved. Works very smoothly now. None of these error codes or anything like that I used to personally get a lot of the time. So that's much better for us to use. With the combat, they did for a while slow the melee system down and force you to take a hit, move back, and be very tactical about your things. But they've gone back to you just being able to very quickly take out a zombie, which is an interesting thing. I mean, I personally prefer it like this. We just found a rifle laser sight now that we can actually use and put straight on here. That really nice find, that red chem light. So yeah, the melee system for me is how I want it to be. It was a bit too slow and they slowed it down, using a lot of health. Oh, stuck there again. That's something else I do want to cover. For a while, it was impossible to find health. Now, it's mainly around the health stations and the ambulances, how you would expect it to be, basically. And, it's there now again, which is what you need. I have to say, going to the perk system, which I have covered in previously, that really has come into its own. It works really, really well. You can definitely tell the difference of having the improved healing perks, things like that, and the silent, well, not the silent footsteps, but the quieter footsteps perk make huge differences to your gameplay. Also, things to cover. The guns generally, I don't think they've done too much work on changing around the guns. They didn't really do too much work before. They did a few little tweaks here and there, but generally the guns are still performing how they used to. This gun here, the M16, you generally, it's a gun, it's okay to start with, but you can improve on it with other guns. It used to be pretty common actually, but don't see so many of them now. That's something they've done with the loot system. There's not an overwhelming amount of guns, which is good. Also, you now find those ultra rares, you know, which eluded a lot of people. You know, some people were lucky enough to find them, and a lot of people, the ultra rares that eluded them, well, you now find those. You know, I've got things like M249 Saw, Desert Eagle, VSS, you know, all that kind of thing. I've got those. It does show that the wider variety in the loot spawns. There's a few things I'm not checking here and there. I'm not really expecting to find stuff there. You should really check all buildings. I would encourage that now, but obviously I don't want to make this video, you know, 2-3 hours long, so I'm just being a bit selective over where I look. Something else that I want to cover is no, you're not going to see it there. There's a slight bug with what I call it a bug. It clearly isn't right. There's a zombie that will look like he's basically got a plastic bag over his head. His head's really, really shiny, and that kind of needs fixing because it's been in the game a little while now, and you know, I'd expect them to have fixed something as small as that by now, but you know, maybe it's an unimportant thing for most people, but it'd just be nice to see that gotten rid of. Got a group invite from a random, we're not going to accept that. We are, however, going to keep our eyes open, make sure we haven't been spotted. Certainly not what you want. The money system, you know, that was ironed out a while back and it works really well now. You generally get money enough to build it up. I got, I think, 15,000. The only thing is, for me personally, there's really nothing left for me to buy. So it's come to the point of just building the money, just building it up, you know. Which is, you know, kind of a good idea because I could probably buy a character skin at some point, but it's not really something I want, so, you know, that there's unimportant for me. Another perk you make it notice a massive difference with is the sprint perk. You know, for longer sprint and faster regen, they make huge differences. Generally, the skill tree makes a huge difference to the game. You know, a lot of people were negative towards it, was from what I was reading before it was released, and when it was released, a lot of people were saying, you know, it's not going to make a change, there's no difference. There definitely is. You know, once you play the game long enough, you definitely notice these differences, and generally the game's going in the right direction again, which is nice to see. One irritating thing for me is the fact that they've been promising vehicles for so long, you know, since Christmas, and they're still not here, and for me personally, I don't think they will be here until after the new map. Just quiet down because I thought I heard footsteps, but mine playing tricks with me. But yeah, I don't see vehicles being in the game till after the release of what I believe is the California map at the end of July or August. I do think it's due. I just, you know, I just generally can't see this map with vehicles, but I could be wrong. You know, people have been telling me they've been finding what could be used as spawns for the vehicles, you know, so we'll just have to wait and see. But it's been a very long time of them promising vehicles and nothing happening, so not going to get my hopes up over that anymore. And to be honest, they're not, you know, I used to say they're really important to bring vehicles in, but I don't know, I lost that feeling. They've done a lot of other stuff to, you know, kind of take you away from wanting vehicles, which kind of is a good and a bad thing, I suppose, but you know, it's player preference at the end of the day. A lot of people don't like this game surely because of the amount of time you spend just walking around to get to somewhere. You know, I know personally I've got a friend who generally just doesn't like the game due to the fact that he'll spend half an hour walking somewhere and then get shot when he gets there, so, and I can understand why he would see that as a waste of his time. You know, it is pretty much a waste of your time, but you know, if you enjoy the game, you enjoy the game at the end of the day. That's just how these things go. just going to get out of the way here, Mosing the gap there, and here that will give me a chance to show you the random ammo thing. That's got 1 bullet in it, you see, and I can unload that and drop the item. We now have a group invite from both players in the server, which is kind of worrying. Suggests they may be working together. But we're just going to keep going about our business and not let that bother us. Can of soup there, very important food resource. Personal lockers, you see these everywhere now. It is a bit silly, the amount of personal lockers. And there's a Sega shotgun, which is nice because it's only the second one I've found it in about 6 months, to be honest. You know, I really don't see that gun. So let's have a look what that had in it. 7 bullets. So we will actually going to keep hold of that. Not a bad idea to keep hold of that one. I'm just going to organise my hotbar a bit there to get access to healing items if I need them. And going to carry on now. Take out this guy here. Right. Okay. Now, something I will comment on is the changes to Camp Splinter have made it pretty pointless going there. I really don't find anything there anymore. I used to find tons of stuff there. Don't quite understand that one. Not a change that I understand at all. But then again, they have just genuinely moved the loot around the entire map. Put the loot everywhere as well, so I kind of get why they want to drop it from just repeatedly going to Camp Splinter and nowhere else. But we are going to head back, and we're going to take a slightly safer route around the outer edge of Smallville. I've covered most of the stuff I want to cover generally on the changes of the game. Just seeing if there's anything that I missed. I can't think of anything that I might have missed off the top of my head. I know I will by the end of the video when I'm not recording, and I'll sit there and think, hang on, I wanted to mention that, but these things happen, you know. There's always next time for that. Generally, I do tend not to play this game on my own, but again, when I'm recording, I'm generally, like you see, I'm on my own usually. So, and I'd like to say that it's playable on your own, but I'd definitely recommend having a bit of backup. It's just nice and a lot less, you know, worrying having someone cover your back. But yeah, we're going to head back. Hopefully we'll make it back just fine. You never know with this thing, you know. You've got to go out in the mindset pretty much of expecting to die with this game. That's just how it goes a lot of the time. Then again, if you get good enough at the game, you know, you have gunfights, you generally, like with most games, going to be adapting and becoming a very solid player and not die too much. For me, it's been quite some time since I had an even chance gunfight. Usually, for me personally, they get the jump on me, see me before I even seen them, this kind of thing, or outnumbered. You know, the last time I think I was with a friend, it was 2 of us, and I think there was about 3, maybe 4 of them. I ended up dead. My friend made it out, but you know, you're outnumbered 2 to 1 in that situation. It's not particularly easy. We were also stuck in a building at that time, so you know, not really anywhere to go either. What I do like is the fact there's no grenades in this game. I can imagine if the enemy had a grenade, then that would have been pretty quickly. So it's nice to see that they haven't got that in their game. So there's Smallville. We just came through and checked a lot of that out. We got a few things. Let's have that Sega shotgun. I don't really see that too much. That's in my eyes of rare, so nice little find. But yeah, the game's definitely going in the right direction for me. It's still a fun game. Still looking forward, however, to Daisy standalone, but that was supposed to have been out by now, at least in its beta stages anyway, and there's not even any news of that. Don't know what's going on there, so it's a good thing that Warzy are improving their game, you know, raising the bar a little bit for Daisy when it's released, and also keeping us entertained. A lot of the guys on here, I'll imagine, will go over to Daisy standalone, and it will be interesting to see what happens with this game when Daisy standalone is released, in terms of how many people are in the servers. You know, is this game going to keep itself going? So that'll be quite interesting to see there. In terms of the future for me with this game, as I say, I'll try and get out some regular footage of this game again now, as I'm playing it a lot more now. As I mentioned before, I've got other ideas in the pipeline for other games. So the channel's hopefully going to pick up again, and I do apologise for the pretty much month absence. I know I brought out videos at certain points between, but I would class myself as been away for about a month, if maybe even longer, but genuinely didn't know where I was going, what I was going to record, so it took me some time to figure all that out. But now, come back refreshed with refreshed ideas. I do want to comment on the Minecraft. That's one thing I really still don't know what I'm going to do with that. I think I'm unlikely to carry that on as a Let's Play, but I may do another kind of entertaining twist on Minecraft, something else I might come up with. The primary reason for not carrying the Let's Play on really is because I felt like I just dragged a bit for you guys, and kind of could tell by the view count that it had that feeling. So, you know, that may or may not come back at the moment, not sure. May even start to bring some footage of some multiplayer first person shooter action. You know, I've got Bad Company 2, Homefront, Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty, World at War, so they're all there for me to do stuff with. And again, I've done stuff in the past with World at War and Custom Zombies, as you would have seen. Just wondering why those zombies there are running in a strange pattern, but we'll just get about our business. The two guys that invited us have left the server and the new guys joined, so going to go about our business, heading back. What I will, we're closing in, what I will also mention with this game is the voice chat system. I haven't mentioned it at all, and it came up in proximity chat connected to voice server at the start of the video, and I didn't mention a single thing of it. Basically, you've now got a proximity voice chat. You press T and you talk, and like with every game that has it, you just hear voice instead of text, which adds a very interesting twist on the game and gives it a much more real feel. Obviously, it's going to be entertaining to see people use it to hold people up for ransom, threaten people, well, not in an aggressive, but threaten people in game, say, drop your weapons, come out and bait people in, that kind of thing. Going to be fun to use. I haven't used it much myself. Generally, like I say, when I play this, I play with other people, and we're generally on a Dolby Axon chat or something like that, so we're not really in-game chat. But it might be something I may try in a future video if the opportunity rises, so we'll have to see on that one. But again, it was nice to find two attachments. I found literally two attachments in the past entirely in my entire history on this game, so just found two in one run. So that was a nice find for me personally. Something I do want to see gone are the lockboxes. I don't understand why you're allowed so many, and it just clogs things up. Maybe not gone from the game entirely, but I think they need a system where they disappear after a while. Then again, that would cause problems, and I don't know how that would work. So I think they just generally need to review the lockbox idea and iron it out a little bit, because as you've seen in a couple of places, you get like 5 lockboxes in one room, and it was a bit silly. it's not called, War Z Lockbox at the end of the day, so you shouldn't be seeing tons of those. But yeah, as I say, the game's going in a much more positive direction for me as a player, and still enjoying the game. Graphically, I can obviously play and record in higher settings, which is nice. I was really stunned and taken aback when I put the new graphics card in and put this game up to its maximum. It does look really, really nice, I have to say. A lot of people say, oh, well, it's not great, there's games with a lot better graphics out there, but for me, it was a huge jump from what I was playing on before. So, it's a nice feeling when you do that for anybody. But yeah, that's that wrapped up, guys. I'm just going to put these items away and, can wrap this one up. Covered everything that all the important big changes that I wanted to cover. Covered a few little future things that I know are coming, like I said, with the future map, the possibility of vehicles with that, the overgrowth I know is coming as well. Not too much other stuff that I've read about. Something else I do want to point out that was in one of the recent patches is street lights. You now get those there, lighting places up, so that was quite a nice thing. It was to do with a lighting patch. But yeah, we're just going to put away our finds, the stuff we don't need. I never really take out medical equipment, that's why you'll notice me putting all that away. And wrap that up, guys. So thanks for watching, guys. It's been great to be back, and as I say, I'll be back full time now, bringing out you some regular videos on the War Z and other games. So that's it, guys. Apexbulletdemon out.